high-tech warfare, the basic fighting skills of the infantrymen remain vital. A unique test of the stamina and endurance of the United States Army's elite Ranger units is the annual Best Ranger competition. This video ordnance program looks at what it takes to be the best in today's Ranger force. Rangers have long been the elite of the American Army's infantry force. Although first formed during the French and Indian Wars beginning in 1755, they are best known for their operations in the Second World War.
Historically, Rangers have been elite soldiers chosen for elite-type units dating way back to the French and Indian Wars when Rogers, Major Robert Rogers, put together an elite guerrilla-type force of, quote, Rangers, and they were specially selected for their abilities in leadership and physical toughness. That tradition has since carried on all the way through World War II with the activation of Ranger units and on up into present-day Rangers, where we now have a Ranger regiment consisting of 3 Ranger battalions that in the last 2 big operations the United States has participated in, Operation Urgent Fury in Grenada and Operation Just Cause in Panama. Ranger units have spearheaded United States forces into those operations.
During World War II, Ranger battalions fought in North Africa, Italy, France, and the Pacific Theater. Patterned after the British commandos, the Rangers were used as the spearhead for the Army assault forces, such as the invasion of North Africa in 1942, the invasion of Sicily in 1943, and the amphibious assault on Anzio on the Italian coast in 1944. One of their most famous missions came during the Normandy invasion in June 1944, where the 2nd Ranger Battalion was assigned the crucial mission of destroying German gun emplacements high above the invasion beaches at Pointe du Hoc. The success of the Ranger concept in World War II and Korea led the Army to change the nature of Ranger service. General David Grange, who fought as a paratrooper and infantryman during World War II, Korea, and Vietnam, has been closely associated with the Ranger Force since his direction of the Ranger School after the Vietnam War.
Well, you know, in World War II, we had Ranger battalions. In the Korean War, we had separate Ranger companies. After the Korean War, we were so impressed with the individual as well as the collective abilities of Ranger units and Ranger soldiers, we felt that what we should do is have a course at Fort Benning, a Ranger training course at Fort Benning. A super infantryman's course is what it is, and rather than put them all in one unit, to spread them out throughout the Army. Rangers are really seed corn for the Army. Not only do they set a standard in the squad, platoon, company, battalion, brigade, whatever they happen to be assigned to in the unit, but they also provide us with a nucleus of cadre. In the event God forbid, we had to mobilize and enlarge our force in a hurry, these men could very quickly be promoted or commissioned. Any Ranger sergeant could be a 2nd lieutenant just by putting a 2nd lieutenant bar on his collar. Those are the kind of soldiers, that's the kind of talent that we have with those individuals. So we're very proud of our Ranger effort. Now we've got units, we do have some units, again, battalions, and more recently a brigade consisting of those 3 Ranger battalions. You know, they've served in just about all of our emergency deployments in the last 10 years, and they've done very, very well. So we've got Rangers spread throughout the Army, and then for highly selective, vitally important, extremely dangerous missions, we do have pure Ranger units again.
Fort Benning is the center for Ranger training. Its role in the Army is to improve the quality of vital combat leaders, young squad leaders and platoon commanders.
Here in the Ranger School, our focus is on leadership. Many people think that Ranger School is a course in small unit tactics or how to do things at the squad and platoon level. Not really the case. We're training leaders for the Army. An individual that comes to this course finds out more about how he himself will perform under conditions of sleep and food deprivation, which we intentionally build into the course to test a soldier's leadership abilities and put him in a situation where it is difficult and find out just how far down he has to reach to accomplish the mission.
In 1981, the Ranger Department at Fort Benning decided to organize a Ranger Olympics to put the Rangers to the test. In an organization that places great stress on individual excellence, it's not surprising that the Best Ranger accolade is a much sought-after prize. Mike Sonnenschein was on the winning team of last year's Best Ranger competition.
When I joined the military itself, I joined the Rangers. You always hear the Rangers are the most elite in the Army, so I've always been a very competitive person. I wanted to be a Ranger. Once I found out what the Rangers was all about, the next step was the Best Ranger competition, to be the best of the best. And I was drawn toward that, being competitive.
In keeping with the Ranger unit tradition, the Best Ranger competition tests two-man teams, not individual soldiers. This stresses the need for cooperation in fulfilling combat missions. The competition was designed to place extreme demands on the team's physical, mental, and technical abilities. The standards of performance not only vastly exceed those required of average soldiers, but are also far in excess of those required in most sports competitions, like the marathon races or Ironman competitions. The competition is based on past combat experience with actual Ranger commando operations.
A Ranger unit organization is good for about 72 hours of straight, direct combat before he's got to take a break. And what we do is we have keyed the event to that time frame. We want to take them as far as they can physically, test their mental and physical skills, and see what kind of endurance and discipline they have at the end of that period.
The annual Best Ranger competition is held every spring at Fort Benning in Georgia. It is a grueling three-day competition, beginning at dawn on the first day and running non-stop until dusk on the third day.
The competition itself runs for 3 straight days without any let-up. It starts out with a physical test, moves immediately into a long-range canoe race, followed by a spot parachute jump, followed by a long road march, followed by a technical, what we call training stakes, a whole series of military skills the individual must accomplish. That then goes into a long-range night land navigation course. The following day, which is the third day at this stage, he goes into what we call the Darby Queen as a rugged obstacle course, and several other lesser events to include some live fire operations. He gets very little sleep, and it is purely an endurance event after about the second day. What's on in the man's head and his heart is much more important than his body.
The 1990 Best Ranger competition included 46 teams from around the United States, as well as Canadian and Marine contingents. The first test of the morning is a physical fitness test and run to warm up for the day's real challenges. The first combat skills test will take place on the target range. The teams are issued standard M16 rifles and sent to the rifle range to zero their weapons.
Go up one click and just fire what you got and just try to relax. All right?
Yeah. I might have accidentally went down 2.
All right, come back up 1.
Once their rifles are zeroed, the competitors move to a live-fire rifle range. The targets are moving pop-up dummies. The team has to hit 23 targets out of 50 with a 6-minute time limit.
It's a very practical infantry marksmanship test. Individuals in a foxhole, there's a series of targets that come up. Some are moving left, right, oblique to the rear, and he has got to hit a given number of those targets. Very realistic situation that an infantryman could find himself in.
Rangers are expected to have combat skills beyond those of ordinary infantrymen. The next challenge is a timed canoe race, with the teams paddling and pushing their canoes along a creek. The rangers are expected to have skills to carry themselves deep behind the line, whether on foot or by less conventional means. At the end of the canoe race, a team from the 10th Special Forces Group at Fort Devens leads the competition. The final event of the day is a heliborne parachute spot jump, with one team member jumping from the helicopter and the second acting as a pathfinder aboard the helicopter. This evening's jump is particularly difficult, with a stiff breeze near the ground. The strong winds blow many jumpers off the landing zone and into nearby stands of trees. By the end of the day, only 30 of the original 46 teams survived, the others having washed out in the first series of tests. The final event of the day is the toughest, a forced road march of 23 miles, with both team members carrying full combat gear. The teams will have only 6 hours to make the march.
The road march in and of itself is a grueling event over 20 miles in length that the soldiers must complete in 6 hours or less, carrying their full combat load of over 60 pounds in the rucksack. This is almost a test entirely of physical toughness, but also there's a degree of mental toughness in there, and it's very easy to talk yourself out of a situation, say, this is just too hard, I need to quit, or I've had enough, I can get on the bus and I'll be out of this thing. So that one's really a gut check, what we call it, to see just how tough mentally and physically a soldier can go and how far you can push yourself above and beyond the requirement.
By Saturday morning, only 14 of the original 46 teams have survived the forced road march the night before.
There they are, the old timers.
Some quick medical attention from fellow team members helps to relieve bruises and blisters.
Yeah, I know. They got the pool downstairs.
With little or no sleep, the competitors now face a set of skill tests called the Ranger Stakes. One of the most demanding skill tests is the Prusik Climb. The climb is a traditional reminder of past Ranger glories. During the 1944 assault on Pointe du Hoc at Normandy, the 2nd Ranger Battalion had to climb sea cliffs as high as this tower under fire from German infantrymen above. At least here there's nobody shooting at you.
Steady climb, good start, good steady climb. Keep your chest next to the rope. There you go. There you go, just like that. Keep going. Good climb.
Get out now. Out of the way.
Good climb. Reach up. Reach up.
Go.
Like bird.
MD. Go.
Reach up. Reach up. Straight down. Keep going, Mike. Keep pumping. Keep on, baby. Don't stop. Keep pumping. Keep pumping, Mike. Right leg over. Let's go. Right leg over. Let's go, Mike. Over. Come on. Go, Dave.
As each team completes the Prusik climb and the rappelling competition, they move on to a variety of combat skill tests. One of the first is a grenade throw, which seems almost relaxing after the previous events.
Go to the left, sir.
The day stakes, for instance, that we're out here today are designed to test the technical abilities, and some of those focus more on the buddy concept than others. But for instance, there's one station where they move under direct fire. The buddy team's moving down a lane and the sniper is down the lane, and they've got to work and coordinate together in order to eliminate the resistance and move on to the objective.
Within 10 minutes, move and eliminate the enemy defensive position, move through the 100 to 50-meter course without being engaged by the enemy, utilizing low crawl, high crawl, and rush movement techniques. If one member of the buddy team is hit, his buddy must continue to drive on to the range objective and complete the mission, though he be the lone survivor.
Cool.
Any questions?
And what's the time limit again?
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
And don your Kevlar helmets. I'll check out your miles, your system, and we move down to the start line.
The miles device, worn by the competitors, uses a small laser to determine whether they are hit by the sniper.
Yeah.
One of the team members reaches the objective without being hit, qualifying the team.
Bring him back down here. Get him, Dave? Hell no, I made it across the line.
By the end of the day, the survivors prepare for the now familiar nighttime march. Saturday night's march is only 17 miles long, compared to the 23 miles the night before. But tonight's march is not on roads, but navigating in total darkness, cross-country, through the Georgia wilderness.
I did it 2 years, 1988 and 89. I think, without a doubt, the hardest event would probably have to be the road march itself. And the land navigation in 89 was very tough.
Well, we got a hurricane in the roof, pissing down rain, and we haven't slept for 36 hours.
At sunrise on Sunday morning, the first teams emerge out of the Georgia woods, ragged and exhausted. Slowly, the other teams emerge from different directions. And, to the surprise of everyone, every single one of the 14 surviving teams makes it across the finish line within the required time. It's an incredible display of stamina and willpower. The teams have had hardly any sleep in the last 48 hours.
Yeah, you really are in a daze from about day 2 on. It's actually a lot harder, you know, obviously it's a lot harder to do it than it is to look at it. From observing this year, it really doesn't look that hard to me, but it is, I know it is. I've been through it twice, and it's very grueling.
After a short rest and breakfast, the teams will be subjected to the Derby Queen. The Derby Queen is a race through a series of obstacles located in the hills around Camp Derby. The camp is named after William O. Derby, the legendary Ranger leader of World War II. In this event, friends and family of the competitors are allowed to witness the event firsthand. They're there to shout encouragement. From the exhaustion in the faces of these Rangers, they can use the encouragement.
Looking good, looking good.
The team here, Staff Sergeants Bob Besswanger and Mark Sheehan of the 4th Ranger Training Battalion, were neck and neck with 2 other teams at this stage in the competition. In spite of their obvious exhaustion, they completed the Derby Queen in good time, contributing to their successful win of the Best Ranger Award later in the day.
Go, let's go. Balance. Go. Maintain your balance. Go. Good.
Take it easy.
Here we go. Watch your balance, Bob.
Catch it,
Good.
catch
Go.
it. Go.
There you go. Pull. Get up there.
Go, Bob. No hesitation, bud.
There you go, Bob. Looking good, Bob.
All right, Bob. Catch up. Catch up, Bob.
Good, Bob.
Catch him, Bob. Catch him, Bob.
Go.
Good, Mark. Come on, Mark.
Go, Bob.
Catch him, Bob.
Go, Bob.
Good job.
Good, Mark.
Come on, Bob.
Make a hole.
Watch out, watch out.
Come on, Mark. Make a hole.
Go. Come on, Mark. Come on, buddy. Come on, Mark.
Go, Bob. Go, Bob. Go. Go, Bob. Go, Bob. Come on.
Come on, Bob. Catch him, Bob.
Push it. Push
Go.
it. Go, Bob. Teamwork. Go. Got it.
Let's go, Mark. Let's go.
Get up there.
Go, push him.
Push him.
Come on, go. Go, Mark. Good. Come on, Bob. Go like easy, Bob.
Looking good.
Go,
Looking
Mark.
good.
Go, just like a snake. Let's go.
Come on, Bob. Looking good, boy. Don't let me
Looking good. Looking good.
Go. Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go, Bob. There you go.
All right,
Bob.
down,
There you
go,
go.
go. Catch him, Bob. Down.
Bob, go. Come on, Bob.
Go, Bob. Go.
Let's go, Bob. Let's go. Catch him.
Let's go, Bob. Push it. Push it.
Catch him.
Come on, Bob. Catch him. Catch him. Catch him.
Bring it all the way. Good job, John.
1531.
The surviving teams now know that they will finish the competition. One of the final tests of skill and determination is the water confidence trial. This may be unnerving to most infantrymen, but to these exhausted Rangers, it's a relief from the endurance tests of the day before.
Come on, Ranger.
Go, Jared.
Go, Derek.
As in past years, the winners and near winners are no Rambos. The 8 top qualifiers this year averaged 5'9" in height and 160 pounds. Best Ranger is not about brute strength. It is raw willpower and determination that wins these competitions, not brawn. Will to succeed is why they call the Rangers the best of the best.